All right, we are back.
Level up, guys.
Yes, and hope you guys enjoyed our last couple videos.
Yeah.
Our teams haven't. Well, the Knicks have been playing pretty good, and the Nets have been playing pretty good.
Yeah.
But one team we haven't really been talking about is Chelsea, right?
Yeah,
well, if you don't know, I'm a huge Chelsea fan. And my friend over here is a Liverpool fan,
Yep.
so we're sitting top 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah.
You know, on the Everton and Liverpool game was suspended yesterday, so
Yeah.
you know.
When does it make up for that one again?
I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they have it set, but
Okay.
so right now with the Chelsea win, they're only four points behind.
Okay.
You know, the MLS Cup was a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was yesterday. It was the LA Galaxy against the Red Bulls. You know, as younger, watching the Metro Stars, they're one of the only teams in the MLS that haven't won a cup.
Oh wow.
And they were like super underdogs, but unfortunately for them, they weren't able to pull it out.
Okay.
The LA Galaxy won 2-1, but.
The Galaxy have won a few championships now, right?
Oh yeah. They were pretty good back in the day.
When they had Beckham or before they had Beckham?
Well, that was a good era with Landon Donovan and stuff.
Yeah.
They've been pretty good. Rebels, they've been pretty good. They've made it to the finals a couple of times, but they've never been able to win.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately for them, they were like the underdogs.
Okay.
If they would have won, it would have been like an historic seed, like one of the lowest seeds to be able to get to the
biggest underdog.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we're talking about Chelsea right now.
Yeah.
So Todd Bowley, right? He's like super has a lot of money, super like a billionaire, and he's from America, and he buys like a large share of Chelsea,
Okay.
and he kind of incorporates kind of like that mentality that the major league does with like salaries. So like
okay.
who
You mean like salary caps?
No. Not Yamamoto. It could be like Yamamoto or Otani, where like he signed for like $800 million contract, but for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's not like well, it is a significant contract, but
right. The length of it helps make it easier, like to work with financially.
Yeah, exactly. So he was incorporating that mentality, and I don't think that was like necessarily kind of like what the Premier League was doing, but he started to get these players with like huge waiver fees, like Moises Caicedo. They got him last year for a waiver fee of just to get him to the team, $115 million. And then they have like Enzo Fernandez, which if you don't know, he was one of like the rising stars in the World Cup, and he signed up for $100 million, getting all these like young talented players for like crazy amount of salary. And then last year, it wasn't living up to the expectations, and Chelsea was like kind of like they were like fool's gold a little bit. Like they were kind of like laughed at a little bit
because they already had like they kind of already started setting up those long contracts.
Well, this is something that, I'm not too sure. Like, I don't know much about the salaries and stuff, but this is something that like people weren't anticipating, and now it's like coming into fruition a little bit. Like, Chelsea is probably, which is the youngest team in the Premier League,
right?
And the fact that they're a second seed right now, they're pretty they're above schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then talking about the game today against Tottenham, they were 0-2 in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were able to come back and win the game, it just like. It like bottles me, like, dang, dude, like at that point when they were losing 0-2, I knew that they were going to come back and win. That's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it's just that mentality, like that. I don't know if it's like the manager, like the Enzo Maresca, just like maybe like that, like the way that he's like playing with like the system, because they're playing with like a 4D but Moises Caicedo plays in the midfield, so they have like an extra person attacking. It's just brilliant, dude, and it's amazing to watch. Super exciting. I don't know if they're gonna be able to match Liverpool, because Liverpool is just they're like a super team right now. You know, like Virgil van Dijk is playing really good, and they have a lot of talented, you know, strikers. Right. I don't know if they're going to be able to kind of reach them, and Chelsea hasn't been able to actually capitalize on beating any team in the top four. I think they lost to Man City and to Liverpool, and then they tied to Arsenal. So like they're still young and developing, but just the fact that they're able to play with such unity and, you know, with such class, it was just like, wow, very impressive. I had to talk about it because it was just blowing up in my mind.
For sure. No, yeah. The fact that they're so young is like very impressive.
Yeah.
And that it's I think they played the 15 games already, so it's like, you know what I mean. They're well into the season already. So it's not like the first few games. You know?
And they're above teams like, you know, Man City. They're above teams like Arsenal right now. Yep. And, you know, obviously, who's Aston Villa. Yeah. They're doing great. Yep. So I'm super excited about it. I'm not sure about the second half of the season, how it's going to incorporate, but just the way that they're playing now is pretty like comforting, you know, for the future.
Yeah, for sure.
But I definitely had to talk about that a little bit, you know, because obviously we have, you know, the Giants and the Jets, you know, which is our like in complete opposite. You know, I was watching the Jets game and I was like, they're gonna win. Like all of a sudden, I see Aaron Rodgers, like, you know, back like Aaron Rodgers from 10 years ago. You know, he was phenomenal to this game. But
they always like him particularly like to kind of see them, like it felt good to see them play like this, you know, but like it would have been nice to see them win the game, but like, you know, I think today they got eliminated from playoff contention. It is what it is, like, you know what I mean, like the seat, like it is what it is, but like the fact that they were able to, I mean, this thing shouldn't be over, right? Aaron Rodgers still has another year on the contract, so like if they're kind of able to get together at the end of this season, that's huge.
But you have to put it in his perspective, like. You have, like, imagine being Aaron Rodgers right now. Like, you know, coming back from an Achilles injury is probably, like, one of the worst injuries, you know, and having all the expectations of playoffs aspirations, like, from me, pretty much, like, in a lot of scouts, pretty much everybody thought that they were going to be a top 10 team. And then the way that they're playing now, and, like, if you're him, would you want to? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have to. But at the end of the day, I do think he's going to come back because, you know, having Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, they have a lot of players. I just think they have to get the coach, man, because it starts from the top.
I hear you, but like I just don't see where Aaron Rodgers where else is he gonna go and have this type of talent and have this type of roster and have this type of, like, you know what I mean, like the Bills are always gonna be there, like they're really good right now. But the Jets can totally get a wild card. They can compete with Miami, like, you know what I mean, and get that wild card spot. New England's not really relevant right now. Yeah,
very disappointing. The defense is especially the overtime, very disappointing. But I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles right now. And the Giants, they played pretty good, right? Their defense wise, you know, we knew from the beginning that the offense was going to struggle.
But yeah, I mean. Yeah, for sure with the Giants, like it's a little bit more expected. But with the Jets, like they had quite a few games where they lost, and it was in the fourth quarter, and they had the lead. You know what I mean? If they're able to just hold on in the fourth quarter, their season's turned around, like, you know, completely. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like the Jets are closer than people think. Like, you know what I mean?
And I think now we can kind of. They shouldn't have fired Saleh mid-season. They should have waited. But. Now that it happened, you know, it's kind of like a little blessing, known for the fact that, like, we see the flaws. We see all the flaws, and maybe if it's Joe Douglas, we'll see what happens. I think there's a lot of question marks that have to be evaluated, you know. But, you know, like you said, there's a lot of issues, but there's a lot of issues that can be corrected. The main thing in the offseason was the offensive line. The offensive line is not the issue this year.
Yeah.
It's the defense.
Yep.
It's not scoring.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers is not playing to the expectations that we thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
But he's still a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah.
That's not the problem. The problem is they're not scoring points.
Yeah.
Breece Hall is a stud, but he's not having the season that we were hoping for, like a top 5 running back.
He was out today as well. Like that doesn't help. So. But yeah, I think that the Jets are pretty close. Like, you know what I mean? A lot closer than the Giants, that's for sure.
Yeah. You trying to talk about a little bit of basketball, a little a little lighten up the mood?
Yeah, sure.
Because unfortunately for the Knicks, they lost, but I think they're undefeated for the cup.
The cup, yeah. Let's take a look at that.
Because, dude, I was watching this video and it was talking about the trade, and it was like reevaluating the trade.
Which trade?
With Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo.
Okay.
Like, not saying it's like because it's too early, right, to tell.
I think so.
But like the chemistry with Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle is not working. They're both like ball. No, I wouldn't say ball hungry, but like the Julius Randle that we loved was when he was going into the paint, and that's kind of like Rudy Gobert's thing. So there's kind of like a dynamic that isn't working.
I hear you.
And Dante DiVincenzo just wants to start. You know what I mean? But on the other side,
are you talking about Randall, right? Randall wants to start.
Yeah, Randall. No. Randall's been starting, but Dante was upset because he thought he was going to start from the beginning. Okay. But he's been starting, I think, recently now.
I've seen I was going to mention I've seen a game recently with the Wolves, and like the chemistry between DiVincenzo and Gobert seems like spot on. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
But Dante is a pretty good player. Like,
he threw like a alley oop up to Gobert, and it was like it was totally like they've been playing together for a long time. You know what I mean? Yeah. But Gobert's like a huge guy. Like, all guys do chuck it up.
They invested a lot of draft picks on Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
So he's going to be there for a while, and then obviously if you have Anthony and Ant-Man, you know what I mean? They're always going to be expected to be relevant. Yeah. But in the Knicks, did I expect Karl Anthony Towns to be a good fit? Yeah. Mm-hmm. From the beginning, I said he was going to be awesome. Yeah. Did I expect him to be this good? No. Yeah. But I think I just hope he just stays healthy. Yep. And then we'll just run the table, because it's kind of like this season is kind of what we kind of expected. Except for Orlando. I think Orlando's the outlier.
Orlando's doing really well, and Cleveland.
Yeah, well, we knew Cleveland was going to be good. Like Eric Mobley.
Not number 1 though.
Yeah, maybe not number. Well, we knew like the top 5. Yeah. We knew it was going to be Boston, right? We knew Cavs were going to be there. The Knicks were going to be there. Yeah. In the beginning of the season, we thought Orlando was going to be there, but that was before Beninterio got injured, but they're still kind of relevant, so kudos to Orlando. Mm-hmm. And then who was going to be that 5, right? If it was either going to be Miami, which is a little shaky right now, is it going to be Milwaukee, which should probably be one of the top 3, or Philadelphia, which has been like a huge disappointment, but they've been playing better. Yep. But we knew that the Knicks were going to be relevant. But with going to the other side, right, in Brooklyn, they've been playing pretty good too.
They've been playing pretty well. Like once you look at their schedule and see like who they're playing, and like the fact that they're only 10-14 right now. Yeah. Right now they're in the 8th spot. They're tied with the Pacers and Bulls for 10 wins. Oh wait, and Detroit with 10 wins. So, you know what I mean? They do need to pick it up and get back up over 500, because that's when when you start looking at the 7 and the 6, it's like the Hawks, Bucks, Heat, Knicks, Magic, Celtics, Cavs, and all these guys are over 500. So that's what kind of separates you a little bit right now. But it's still early. Everybody's still bunched up. Like everybody's like kind of only a few games within each other. You know?
and the good thing is that it's not the Western Conference.
Yeah, that is huge.
The Western Conference.
That's the only reason
tight.
that the Nets have a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's insane, because if you look at it, like the Kings and the Spurs, they're like the first 2 teams out of like the playoffs if it was to start tomorrow, and their rosters are so good. Like, and the fact that they would miss the playoffs is just like mind blowing.
Yeah, Wembanyama is like a stud.
Yeah.
But I guess a lot of people expected him to be a lot better than what he's like statistically, but I think he just needs to build up some muscle mass.
Yeah, I think so, and I think like he has a lot more like developing to do and like game IQ in terms of like making his teammates better. Like, you know what I mean? I think right now it's more like just like focusing on himself and making sure he performs well, which is the first step, right? Like,
Yeah.
you like make sure you perform well first, and then like distribute out to your teammates. Or if like you're cold, like, you know what I mean, like find somebody else.
Yeah, man. Let me ask you something completely irrelevant to sports.
Okay.
How do you like the new way that they're streaming sports? Like for me, I kind of like it because for me, with the Chelsea game, I was able to watch it in USA, but the next day you can watch it on Peacock, and it's exclusively for Peacock. MLS is Apple. Now with football, you can watch it on Prime on Thursdays,
right.
And then you can watch it on Peacock. All these different streaming services now.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, you have to pay for these services. It's not cable anymore.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not like. Well, it's pretty ESPN, but you can also watch it on different areas as well.
Yeah, it's a contract between the NFL and all these companies that they want they both get something out of it, and that like it makes the NFL games more exclusive, and also it helps like the platforms because they want the subscription. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's win-win for both of them because like if you want to watch it, you have to get it.
But is that a win-win for the NFL, or is that a win-win for like the NFL and the consumer? Because I feel like you have to buy.
The consumer's a loser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like we have to pay for it for the for the service or whatever.
Yeah.
There are or bootleg it or something like what I mean. That's the only option. Option, which is hard and illegal. So
yeah. Because like I'm thinking about it, and like obviously like Prime, like everybody has Amazon Prime, but like imagine if you don't have it. You know what I mean?
Many people don't have it, and many people don't have like Hulu or Peacock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
that's
those are the most
NBC,
of the streaming.
Right?
Or I know that maybe Apple, because baseball is in Apple now.
Right.
Some of the games because I know that MLB is trying to kind of branch out a little bit to the streaming services as well.
Max shows some of the NBA games.
Oh yeah, that's true. The Hard Knocks.
Depending on that as well. Everybody has their hand in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like who doesn't want to watch live sports? You know what I mean? If you're able to stream it on your platform, like it'd be one of the only two apps.
But that being said, like watching is sports streaming is so much better. Being able to pause and rewind and all that stuff is so cool.
Yeah.
And like when I was watching the streaming of like even the Monday night with once we finish the podcast, we're gonna watch the Kansas City and the Chargers. Yeah. But you can watch it like in Spanish, you can watch it in English, and then you can watch it with different commentators. You know what I mean? It's so freaking cool.
It is cool.
And then you can also watch stats and stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
I saw something else too. Like maybe we'll check it out. Check it out for your Thursday for Prime. There's a Madden view. You can change the view of your screen to like be looking over like the live game. Like over the line of scrimmage.
Oh.
As if it was in Madden.
And snaps.
You have that view. I just saw something on Instagram about it, so I'm gonna try it this Thursday. You guys try it too.
Do you think it'll work?
It's only for Thursday night for Prime.
Oh, okay.
Tonight's Sunday night, so it'll be on NBC.
Okay.
But try it out. Maybe it's on NBC. Just like play with your remote.
That's cool.
But
try it out, guys. Let us know. I have mixed feelings because obviously. There's a lot of like you said, a lot of cool things that they can incorporate with it.
Yeah.
But it does. It's kind of a double-edged sword with the consumer, dude. Because you're gonna have to pay $5.99, $10.99 one here, $10.99, and for the people that have cable already, cable's expensive, man. Yep. Cable's like over $100.
Yep.
That's why I got to get YouTube TV sponsored. No, I'm just kidding.
Not for real. Shout out YouTube.
Oh jeez, but well, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
This was kind of a little wacky, talking about some soccer, some football, and some baseball.
Yeah, a little
but
mix of everything.
a little mix of everything. That's what we like.
Yep.
Yeah, but thank you for listening. Give us a like, or give us some support, or just give us any feedback. We greatly appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't listen to us again, we wish you a happy holiday.
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and Happy Hanukkah and Happy Kwanzaa. What's the other one? Well, happy holidays. Have a good one.